crafty friends, this is the Paper Chef here. All right. Sorry for the sound problem. Okay, hello Paper Chefs. Hello crafty friends. This is the Paper Chef here. I'm sorry for that crazy intro. All right, in this video, I'm continuing with my live unboxing of my new Brother ScanNCut SDX125. This is an unscheduled live broadcast because I want to show you and I want to see for myself how this new machine will do with cutting stamped images for the first time. So prior to this tutorial, I have stamped this little piggy by Stampin' Up. And I have stamped this stamp set called Over the Moon by Stampin' Up. And I know that these both cut out very well in the past with other models of my machines. Okay, I'm using Memento Black ink, just so you know, and I'm using Whisper White cardstock by Stampin' Up. Okay, that's upside down. So that's what I have done prior to this. Now I'm going to show you, start to finish, how to cut out stamped images using the Brother ScanNCut. Hey, I have Stampin' Sue. Thank you for coming. You know, say hello if you're here, because what I love about lives is like watching the live chat replay, because I can't see it all while I'm filming, but then I can see it all later, and it's really fun. Hi, Deborah. Okay, so here I have attached, and hi, Charlene, the little pigs and the little cows to the mat. It's important when you have stamped images that you're cutting out that you use ones that have well-defined black lines and that ones that contrast with the background really well, like these. Okay, I'm going to put my mat into the machine, and I'm going to hit the load button, the load mat button. And it says, keep your hands away. Oops, I should have done it one more time. I actually kept the mat away, not just my hands away. Okay, you don't want to keep the mat away. You need the mat to be touching those rollers. Hi, Becky. Okay, so here we are. We are going to, let me just focus, make sure you can see that. Find my stylus. We're going to go here to the option called Scan. Hi, Charlene. Okay, if you're having a problem, Charlene, with the blade cutting all the way through the Whisper White mat, there are some things you can do, but let me still show that later. Okay, let's see, Scan. And so now I'm going to do what's called direct cut. Okay, I'm going to direct cut. Now I'm going to direct cut because I don't want to save these images. Now if I was to make a stamping mask, I would use Scan to Cut data, but that's another story. We're going to use just save to the machine. I'm trying to do the very basic thing here, which is you have black and white recognition mode. That's in this mode here. I need to go back in there to show you that. When you click on the mode, I want black and white recognition mode because that's what I used for these feathers as well in the last live video. They came out perfectly. Even though they're in color, you want black and white recognition mode. Always use that mode. It saves time. In fact, 95% of the time. There's only going to be a few times, and I'll show you examples of when you use color recognition mode. But what I need to change it back to right now is 12 by 12. The scan area, 12 by 12. Okay, so I'm changing it back, saying okay. Because my cows and pigs are longer than 12 by 6. But that is something really nice. The fact that these Brother ScanNCuts have a half cut mode, half scan mode. Look at that. It saves you time. If you only have to scan something on the top of your mat, then definitely use the 12 by 6. But I'm using 12 by 12. I'm going to go ahead and say start, and it's going to scan in my images. All right, so I have been asked the question, do you have to put an outline distance around your images? No, it's a personal preference. You don't have to put, this is a 0.04 outline distance or an offset. You don't ever have to use an outline distance on your stamped images. You can cut right along the black line. It's not as always forgiving. It's like I like to add, I'm going to give you the two reasons, A and B. First reason, I don't think it cuts really well along the black line all the time. So I like to add an outline distance just for it to be forgiving. B, I like the way it looks. And C, there's three reasons. I like to color my stamped images. Let me show you an example. I like to color them, and I like to color just the one inside the lines, and it's nice to have the big white outline to make a contrast. It adds an extra layer of dimension when you color your stamped images. I've done tutorials on how to color this piggy, but we're not doing that right now. We're just trying to cut these out. We're trying to see if we hit OK, will these cut out perfectly? That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm going for. I need to zoom in and let you see this. Okay. Zooming in. Let's see. I'll just pull my machine. I can just do this. I need you to see this. This week, here we go. I can see this better now. So when you first scan in your stamped images, you're going to get some unwanted bits. The unwanted bits are these sentiments. Now there are times when you want to cut these out, but personally I would cut these out with a classic label punch by Stampin' Up! Or with a rectangle in the Brother ScanNCut. I would not cut these out right now. So any little sentiments under the stamped images, we want to ignore those. So you go to ignore object size and you just increase the size until you get rid of the extra bits that you don't want, but you don't increase it to the point of getting rid of the pigs themselves. Okay, so I'm increasing. See? Let's see. We know the pigs are over an inch. So we can just say, you know, almost up, like go an inch, you're good to say get rid of all the extra unwanted bits. I still see a big line over there. Good enough. Okay, we have an inch we're ignoring. We say okay. Now we say okay again, and we're going to put that outline distance around. That's right here, and it looks like a little outline. So we're going to click on that. We're going to add the offset of, 0.04. Okay, now let's say okay, and we're going to get rid of this. We're going to go into edit. So you can ignore objects to get rid of things, or you can get rid of them in the edit mode. Click here, and that's how I'm going to get rid of that line. I'm going to select it and hit the trash. Okay, are you sure you want to delete the selected data? Yes. So now I have just the pigs and cows. And I think I want to comment right now that this is really good for me personally, this machine, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I have 10 stamped images on my mat, and it scanned in 10. And I would say that's a really good success rate. You know, it's a very sensitive scanner, and that's a good thing. That means that it recognized all my stamped images, which is not always the case. But I'm happy with like a percentage of, you know, hi frog lady, I'm happy with any percentage. I'm going to say cut. Now it's asking, back to that, it was asking, do I want to draw, do I want to cut? That's what it was asking me, and I said I want to cut. Okay, because you have other choices like draw, cut, emboss. We will get into all of that. I've had other tutorials on drawing and using the pen tool, you know, but we can't do everything at once. Right now I'm just trying to show you how to cut these stamped images. So after the last live video, my husband said, oh, how's the wireless working? And I said, oh, I haven't even checked the wireless yet. And he's like, well, what do you mean? That's the whole reason you asked them for the replacement machine. And I said, no, that was just one of the reasons I asked for the replacement machine. So in other words, I am definitely going to find out, you know, about, like, I'm going to be definitely checking if the wireless is working. That will be my next thing I try. Hi, Andem. Okay, so I want to know, hi Deborah. I want to know if you can see a screen that says cutting. 1 minute, because for some reason my screen is freezing. So thank you for checking in on the live. Yes, it's frozen. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to take my phone. I'm out of the, well, all it's doing is cutting, by the way. You're not missing anything, folks. I'm just going to go ahead and try to see if I can't get it to stop freezing. Let's see. It's not, I don't know what I did. I didn't touch it. I didn't do anything. And it's just frozen. The only choice I have is it seems to let me change like some settings, like some filters. So if anyone knows how to get it off of a frozen mode, I don't know how I did that. I didn't really touch anything and it just started freezing. And I don't think my camera's out of memory. So let's see. Hey, that was me. Okay, so that was me. Let's see. I think I did it. I think I got it back to normal. And I'm in my room. Ooh, sorry. Yay, I'm back. Okay, well, thanks for telling me because, this is kind of hard. But what I really like about the live is like you guys get to ask things. I get to interact with you, and that's kind of fun for me. All right, so what was I doing? I was cutting stamped images. Actually, you didn't miss anything. All it was a bunch of noise cutting stamped images. Let's say okay. Let's say unload, and let's say okay. Let's take the images off the mat. So what you do is you first take your Whisper White cardstock off the mat. And remember I told you, like after the first unboxing video, I said, hey, I have to get this Whisper White to get unstuck from the mat. And I used my little spatula and some baby wipes, and I got it off, but now it's kind of sticking again. But that's because this is a brand new machine. I mean, it just came. And I'm like, I'm unboxing it, and I'm like using it for the first time. So of course the mats are going to be sticky. And that's why it's kind of hard to get the Whisper White off the mat. But it's okay, because the point is, did the pigs cut out? I'm going to put them there for you to look at, and I think they did a darn good job. Look at Mr. Cow. Mr. Cow has an even amount of space on the white side as he does on the left side. And you know what? So does Mr. Pig. Miss Piggy. Someone said, I'm waiting for you to cut out Miss Piggy. Miss Piggy looks good. Of course, I'm pushing on her tail a little much because her tail, it was hard to get him off the mat. Here, let's use this one. Let's get you out of here. Your little pig got messed up. Okay. So I love how these came out. This is stamped images, but I want to show you more than you could do with this. But of course, in order for me to show you more, I have to actually pry. I have to literally pry the papers off the mat. And I'm not used to doing that. I'm always like, for years now, I've been like, hey, why isn't these sticky? I honestly think, because this has never happened to me before where I've had to pry images off the mat. I think the Brother ScanNCut DX Max mats are more sticky than the than the CM350 mats. I think these are stickier. Look at that beautiful cut. So the CM350 or ScanNCut 2 had sticky mats when you first get them, but like they wore out like after the first cut or two. And this one's like taking several cuts. Well, I've only used it a few times, but all right, so good cuts. And now I could show you something else. So I'm going to leave one of because my flying pig is just stuck on the mat anyway. I'm going to see if I can't just use her for the next example. And I say her because the sentiment says her. All right. Sometimes if you bend the mat a little bit, you can get them off. And all I did really was I did the first couple cuts in my example, in my unboxing, and then I used a baby wipe and I wiped the mat a little, and now it's like stickier than ever. It's like stickier than it was when I started. It's like, whoa, what happened? All right, well, this one lost its little flower, but you get the idea. Good stickiness. Okay, now let me show you the next little trick, because that's what I'm all about, is tips and tricks. All right, so here we are. We are going to, let me make some room, show my crafty friends. So we have what we're going to do right now, just so you have the big picture. I'm going to zoom in. We have a little pig, and we're going to make a mask. We're going to scan in this pig, and we're going to scan in just the pig, and we're going to save it. We're going to save the black outline, and then we're going to cut it. Okay? We can save it so we can use it again, and we can save it so we can cut it. We could just cut it directly, but I like to show you like an extra trick. It's kind of like a bonus trick. So let's do it start to finish, so you know what's going on. I'm going to say, okay. Okay, so why would we want to do this? Okay, yeah. Okay, why we want to do this is to make this effect. So we want to be able to color in just the pig. Okay, so that's the idea. So I'm going to scan, and instead of direct cut, I'm going to say scan to cut data. Let's go ahead and do a half cut, because my pig, oh no, never mind. He's on the bottom of the mat. Never mind. We're not doing a half cut. We have to do a whole cut, because the poor little pig's on the bottom of the mat. Okay, it's telling me load the mat. And once again, my mat loaded successfully. It's such a beautiful thing. I know some of my viewers don't have mats loading successfully, and I feel really bad for you guys, because it really makes the whole experience like crazy miserable if you don't have a mat that loads successfully. So I'm scanning in my pig, and I'm going to save the outline of the pig. I know, I can't believe how great it's going in and out. I'm like, yay! It's like small victories. And so what I'm going to do is save it, And then I'm going to use that again and again. So like I'll have it in my machine. So whenever I need a mask of a piggy, I have a mask of a piggy. So here's the piggy I want. So let's take, so here are the three choices. When you use ScanNCut data, you can scan the outline of the image, the inside and outside lines of the image, or just the lines of the image. I just want this one, the first one. It's scanning the outer lines of the image. Now it's asking what I want to scan. Notice how sensitive it is. It got all those little rips in my paper. We will delete those in a minute, the things we don't want. We can ignore object size at this point, or we can ignore it later. I just want the piggy, this outline. We're going to ignore small object size. And you also select the area you want. Okay. Hi, Carol. Yes, it is an awesome machine when it works correctly. All right, there we go. So now we're going to save it to the machine, because in the next video I'll set up wireless, because my husband's like, why aren't you setting up wireless? I will do that in the next video. All right, so we're going to say okay. So here's what's cool. Let's go home. Let's delete everything. All right. This is what's really cool about this machine. All right, trust me. I have had every machine in my fleet of die cutting machines. I have used the Cricut. I've used the Big Shots. The best thing about this Brother ScanNCut is that you can save images to your machine and use them again without ever being hooked to a computer. You just can craft. You can just come in your room and you can craft. You don't need to do all this craziness. So you don't need to be hooked to a computer. So I'm going to turn on my machine. Okay, just say pretend it's off. We turned it back on, and the first thing we do is retrieve data. This should be the only file I've saved in here. In my other machine, I saved a lot more. I'm going to say go to the machine, and there should be my pig. Look at that. I can use this file again and again. Not only can I use it again and again, I can resize it again and again, and I could do other things to it. So I'm just going to zoom in so you can see the piggy. So here we are. There's my pig. I'm going to trash the parts I don't want. So well, no, I don't want to trash it yet. So let's say okay, and then I'm going to edit the parts I don't want. So we're going to go into editing, and you notice how in the editing mode, you can toggle around. So here's like a toggle. This lets you toggle between all of the things on the screen. Never delete the main object being your pig. You only want to delete the extra little bits. So I'm going to hit trash, not on that one, on all the little extra bits. Trash, not him, or not her. She's a her because it says it in the sentiment. I'm just deleting the extra bits. And let's see if there's any more. Nope, there's something there. I could see a little line. Interesting. I don't know what that is. There's a little line next to my pig. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, but it doesn't matter. We're going to cut it. Okay, we're going to cut it because what I want to do is cut along the line. Now, I've already cut them out earlier with the outline distance, but this is, pretend you haven't already done that. We're cutting out the pig along the line. Okay. And now I'm going to show you something that I don't know what will happen. I mean, this is going to be like, will this work or not? I'm going to find out with you if this will work. So I went on, oops, that's my mat. I thought I had my Mylar. I was going to see if my Mylar will cut. So one moment, friends. Got to get some Mylar. Okay, so what I've done is I've cut the piggy along the line. I just wanted to show you that. Let me use my spatula. And then I'm going to see if my machine will cut Mylar. Okay. So what I was trying to do is get this Mylar because I really would never have made a mask out of, I wouldn't have really made a mask out of paper. I make it out of plastic Mylar. This stuff cut great with my last ScanNCut. So let's see. I don't know. Will it work? That is the question. So I'm going to just, instead of like chiseling my mat, I have the mat that came with my other machine. Okay, so this may or may not be the bad mat that came with my other machine. I might have to find the good mat that came with my other machine. I have two mats with my other machine, a good and a bad. It doesn't matter. We're going to see if we can cut this Mylar. So I'm sticking the Mylar, it's like plastic, onto the mat. If it's a bad mat, all it's going to do is take a while to load. But you know what? Nothing's going to take as long as it's going to take for me to chisel off that darn piggy that stuck so much to my mat. All right, so let's see if it loads. If not, it's the bad mat. We're going to say, okay, load. Nope, this was the bad mat because it doesn't load. And this is what happened the first time I got my ScanNCut. Oh, we do not want to repeat of the last. We do not want to repeat. I'm going to find the good mat. In fact, you know what I'm going to do to that mat is what my little trick is. It's a resticking trick. You cut the inside of the mat off, just like I've done with lots of Cricut mats. Hi, Sandra. So in the past, I've taken Cricut mats, okay, and I have like cut the Cricut mat all around, and I remounted it onto a Brother ScanNCut mat. So that's what I plan on doing with that bad mat. I'm not going to get rid of the mat. I'm going to keep the inside of it. So I'm now putting Mylar on the good mat. And I'm trying to do some tutorials before I send my other machine back. Okay, so let's see. Let's load again. Yay, it loaded perfectly. So this is, I'm curious, will my new SDX125 cut Mylar? Let's just go ahead and say, select, cut, and see what happens with my Mylar. You said as an auto blade that you could cut anything up to 3 millimeters. Let's see if you really can. This is not very thick. I don't think I even need to use like the lever 2 position. Let's see what it's doing. It seems like it's working. And I have taught this in the past. So what we're doing is making a stamping mask. So then you can color your piggies, your whatever stamped images you want to color. Let's see. Oh, okay. It knew that it was thick. This is interesting. Okay, first time I noticed this. It knew it was thick material, and it's doing a double cut. So for each millimeter it senses, I believe, it's going through and cutting it another time. Okay, let's see what happened. With my piggy, yes, it did a great job. Okay, I think so. Well, it cut an extra couple of little lines. Let's see. It's a little bit wonky. I don't know what that. A little bit wonky, but let's go ahead and show you how to use it, because basically the concept is there. That was just a matter of the scan that it got. So if it got an extra line in the scan, it was getting an extra line in the mask that cut. I do think my Brother CM350 did a little better job of this little technique. All right, so here's what I'm doing. I am taking this little Mylar mask, and I'm going to color in the piggies. Where's my piggy? Here she is. Okay, my piggy with the outline distance. I'm sticking her under there. See that? I'm sticking her under there, and I'm going to be able to color her, because this one I cut out without the line around it. So cool. Okay, but of course I don't want the wings. You could color up the wings with something else. Okay. I don't think it quite did what I wanted it to do. I don't think it really cut a lot. I don't really think it cut along the line too well. But I mean, it'll give you the concept. So if you cut one pig with the outline distance and one pig without an outline distance, then you get some ink. Like this is just petal pink. This is petal pink ink. Cool. I didn't get to read all of your last message that popped up because it was very long, but I'm sure the other viewers will get to see it, which is really cool. I'm going to take this and I'm going to color the bottom just to give you an idea. So I'm going to just tap the sponge into the ink, or because it's pink and it's really light, or I could take a stamping block. You could go something like this. You could stamp the stamping block onto the ink and then sponge color the acrylic block. Bottom line is that you're making one of your masks one of your pigs is going to have an outline distance. The other one is not. The one that is not I'm just doing something just to show you for a second. The one that is not is going to be used as the mask. Okay, and then when you color it, and don't worry, I didn't color the whole top yet. You protect the bottom part, so you're not coloring the outside part. Otherwise, you can imagine you trying to color the pig without doing this. You would have to color. It'd be so hard to like mask off the part you don't want to color. Okay, I'm going to color some more. I just have to show you this, and then of course you would color. I would usually cover up the wings, is what I do, and then I use Wink of Stella, which is like a little glitter brush, to color the wings. And I've literally colored hundreds of these piggies before with this technique because I used to use these for my swaps. My swaps, like my trades. This is the kind of pig I would use for my swaps. So, and this one is a great one because it has a good sentiment. So pretend you color. You can make another little cover for the wings. But I love how you can color just the inside. And of course, it would be more even. And I put a lot of extra ink on it. And I have a whole video tutorial on how to do that too. All right, so bottom line is my new SDX is working good. You can cut out stamped images. If you cut them out directly and don't use an outline distance, that's fine. You just don't use an outline distance. You don't need to use scan to cut data. You can just do direct cut. Every time you cut out stamped images, just use direct cut. But if you want to save this image so that you can use it again and manipulate it, then use scan to cut data. Okay, before I sign off and come back on to do a wireless tutorial, I'm going to show you something that you can do with now that you have scan to cut data. Something you can do with this that you could have never done with direct cut is manipulate this image. So let's go back. Let's go here to edit. Okay, because I'm in scan to cut data, I can now go here to object edit, and I can go here into this first option and look at this. Okay, I can make a bigger piggy. Look how much bigger my piggy can get. I've done a whole tutorial on doing this. It was something about when I enlarged the teapot. I've showed you, I think, how to enlarge butterflies and things like that. Okay, so you get the idea. You can enlarge, you can reduce the size, you can manipulate, you can, let's say, okay, you can duplicate, make many little piggies. Okay, so imagine if this was an intricate shape and you wanted to do more to it. You can only do more to it if you're in scan to cut data. You can't do more to it if you're in the regular direct cut mode. Direct cut does not let you save anything. Okay, so the last thing I want to say about the scan to cut data before I head out is there's no way that I know of to add an outline distance around it like you can with the offsets that you can do in the direct cut mode. So I do like the direct cut mode for that reason, but I like scan to cut data whenever I'm trying to make multiples of the same object because that saves me a lot of time with my projects. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll be back in just a few minutes. As soon as I upload this video, I'm going to come back on and show you how to set up your wireless. I'm expecting mine to work, and I'm going to actually turn on my other machine and compare it so that you can see my wireless working. I'm going to show you which machine doesn't work and my machine that I hopefully, crossing fingers, will work. Okay, so thank you for watching and thank you for interacting with me, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you.